gigging, of course. So I'm here to speak on behalf of both of us. So I actually met Steve the night I met my husband, and we all know he was a gifted musician. Vivian sang at our wedding. I loved him playing blues, but my favorite was him accompanying Vivian singing opera.
All right.
And that's where my heart goes when I think of Steve. He will be missed. Thank you.
Noel, you want to come up?
Hello. Worked with Steve for a long time at Subway Guitars. We're friends. Best thing about him, we get together and we play guitar together. After we were done, he'd tell me everything I did wrong. He'd help me get everything right. We went out one time, we went out a few times, we were moving jobs, we were moving from old houses to new houses. Steve was great to be around, he was fun, he was good to me, he was good to everybody that he ever met.
Alec, you want to come on up?
Right, I'm going to give this a go. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say at the moment because I didn't come over here altogether prepared for this, but I'll try and fill in a few of the details that kind of aren't covered by the photos that you've got set up on the board around the room. So they probably start from about 1982 when he moved over here. Prior to that, he was in England, which is obviously where we all came from. And there's a few things you may or may not know about him. He's my oldest brother. He's 7 years older than me. There is another brother, Philip, who unfortunately can't be with us tonight, who's 5 years older than me. So I was very much the kind of youngster. There's a big gap. And one of the earliest memories I have is of us going as a family to the south coast of England for summer holidays, and me being dragged through the sand dunes by Philip and Steve. And they had this thing about the Foreign Legion, which included wearing the hats. The hats were very important. They're kind of a white, almost like a kind of baseball cap, but they've got a big long flap down the back that protects your neck from the sun. So Phil and Steve had these. I didn't. And then they used to run down the sand dunes, and they needed something, you know, as a kind of piece of equipment, and that kind of got to be me. So I was probably, I don't know, 3, 4 years old, and they're, you know, what's that, 8, 10, running down through the sand dunes, carrying bits of stick as guns, and then pulling me down as their kind of quarry, or prey, or who knows what. We have pictures to prove this. So that's my kind of earliest memory of my big brother. And then it kind of moved on, and he got into cycling. Now, some of you may or may not know that's kind of my thing. I do cycle touring, and I tour long distances, visit foreign countries. But Steve was a really talented racing cyclist. He won gold medals. He was England's junior pursuit and track champion in the early 60s.
Wow.
And he has, I don't know where they are now, but he has a rake of bronze, silver and gold medals that he gained from about 1961 to 1963. And of course, the demise of all this was when he discovered sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's a given, isn't it? So, but he had that. And when we had as a family, we had pictures of him on his bicycle racing. And I can remember getting up really early in the morning. They were in England. You have to try and put it in context. This is kind of England after the Second World War. Times are hard, not much money. So you'd either cycle to races, which is kind of unheard of now. You have to go in cars and stuff. Or we go as a family and watch him race. And as I say, he was very, very good. And he could have been really good. But, you know, music took over. And he discovered clubs and bars in and around London. And I suppose what you could say is his life here is a result of that. For, you know, good or ill, take it as you want. And then, moving on, he kind of left my life when I was about 11, so that makes Steve about 18, because he became the black sheep of our family, unfortunately. That was when he got his girlfriend pregnant, and the result of which was his son, Ruben, who's with us here tonight. And I happened to be present when the announcement was made. This wasn't the announcement made by my parents, but it was the announcement made by Jean's parents, that's Ruben's mother, as they hammered on the door to announce the fact that she was giving birth, which was a completely unexpected event. Much to the shame and chagrin of sets of parents, as you might imagine in 1965, North London, suburban England. It was not a thing to be advertised. But that was kind of, I think, typical of what Steve was like. It was, he cut his own path. He did his own thing. And he and Jean got married, and they got a place to live. But then, they did the thing that was meant to be dutiful, was they got a place to live. He got a steady job, or the nearest thing that Steve could do to a steady job, which was working for music publishers. Of course, it had to be with music. And, you know, he earned money, did the kind of right thing. But then what they did was they moved out into the country and got these kind of quite bohemian houses, which I like to go to, being about 13 or 14 then. That was interesting, and there were loads of musicians. And it went on from there. So he wrote it at that time, he was still working for chapels and music publishers, but he got into music, started to learn the guitar, and wrote for bands like the Bonzo Dog Band and others. I lost track of them all, and then in about 1982, as you know, he moved over here. By that time, he and Jean had parted company, and he has always been kind of slightly separate from me. Not intentionally, but just he'd gone away and done his own thing. He was his own person, and as I'm sure you agree, that's what kind of marks him out. And he kind of did his thing, and I did ours. And we met up and, you know, shared anecdotes, as only Steve can do. And I'm really touched to see all of you here. I had no idea what this was going to be like, how it was going to work. And I'm grateful for everybody that's come. It's really nice to, you know, meet some of you and share stories. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to Vivian for all that she's done for Steve, especially in the last days. And that's a thank you from all of us in our family. And I guess that's about it for now. Okay, thank you.